What's going on, guys? Aaron from Top Tier Gaming here, and today I am bringing the ultimate virtual world combo video for 2021 post Burst of Destiny. I did mention I was going to do this in my last deck profile, linked down below in case you want to see what build we are using for this combo video. And I said I was going to do a very long, very in-depth combo video for virtual world because it's a deck a lot of people are looking for help with on how to combo, or maybe just want to see some combos they might not know, or learn how to play the deck, anything like that. And that's what this video is for, to sort of show virtual world in its true environment, with all the bricks you're going to draw, all the amazing hands you're going to see. With the introduction of Small World, I feel like the bricks are fewer and far between. I feel like this deck did get a huge consistency boost from Burst of Destiny, but every deck is going to brick every now and then. So I'll say what to do in all the hands, maybe see some go second hands, maybe see some hands playing through Nibiru, you know, Imperm, Valor, all the good stuff. So if you do like virtual world, be sure to like, subscribe, and let's get into the video. So starting off with our first hand, we're going to see Effect Valor, Lao Lao, Chuche, City, and Small World. So we definitely have a lot of options in this hand. It's definitely full combo. For this first hand, we're not going to choose to play around Nibiru or try not to play around anything, because I just want to show what the deck can do with this opening hand. Later in the combo video, I will be showing how to play around things like Nibiru, Valor, Imperm, things like that in case you are not aware, but let's just decide what we're going to do first with this hand. We have Small World, which can bait Ash, which is important, but it can also get us to a very important combo piece. So deciding which piece we want to get with Effect Valor, let's activate the Small World, and we're going to banish the Valor, assuming that Small World resolves. We're going to get Valor, and Valor is going to tag into Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion. And Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion, the reason these connect, by the way, is they both have 0 attack and share no other sort of card type. And then we're going to add Lulu to our hand, because Ghost Bell and Lulu only share level 3. They have no other stat in common. You know, Zombie, Psychic, Wind, Earth, 1800 defense, 600 defense, and very different attacks. So they only share level 3, allowing this to add Lulu to our hand. And this is one of the very powerful things about Small World, is essentially we opened like an okay hand where we had to use Lao Lao first. But thanks to Small World, we are able to get Lulu City, which is absolutely absurd. So Lulu and City are always, this is just like the full combo. This is the forbidden combo. Opening Lulu City means your hand is going to be amazing. So we're going to activate the City, and we are going to get Chuche. Chuche is definitely the best pick here. Like, you already have a Chuche in hand, but having a trap on field makes a lot of your virtual worlds just better. So if they hadn't used Ash, you know, we're still going to activate this first because we do want to save our Lao Lao for having something engraved. So we're going to Lulu, targeting Chuche, which means we are going to add a monster and dump a spell, which is definitely just like the best all around, because it means we have every virtual world name in rotation, because we are going to add the Lily here. There's Lily. And we have every virtual world name in rotation because we have Lulu, Lily, Lao Lao, and this is going to search for Gigi. So then the Lulu gets special summoned. Now from here, I'm going to activate Lily, targeting the Lulu, and we can dump a spell and a trap. So we are going to, of course, dump Shanwu, and the spell we're going to dump is an additional Qinglong because it will help with follow-up later. Making sure you get your Qinglong engraved is pretty important because it is very good follow-up for later in the duel. From here, we have a couple of options. We can activate the Qinglong and then go add GG, pitch the Chuche, make Lulu level 6, and then you can actually go for Tzolk'in and play around Nibiru like that, but we don't have a spell or trap in hand, which is why we're going to want to leave this Chuche in hand, I believe. So, yeah, there's a bunch of different routes with Virtual World, which is what makes it pretty hard to combo with in a more difficult deck, but I'm going to try to explain the routes as we go along. So, from here, I think the best thing is to go ahead and probably just add GG, because I want to make, like, Coral Dragon, so we can get a draw, which is very, very nice. So we're going to Qinglong, add GG, or actually we're not going to add GG, we're going to add Nian Nian. Alright, so after some deliberation, I actually had to think there for a second, we're going to add the Nian Nian, because we are going to dump the Nian Nian with Qinglong, because if we don't do it this way and we have to discard our Chuche, we don't have anything to set off Tzolk'in, which would be one of the worst case scenarios, so we definitely want to have something in here. And then from here, I'm going to activate we don't have to activate Lao Lao yet, so maybe we won't, but yeah, so from here we can go into a couple of different things, and in the end we are going to activate Lao Lao. Targeting the Chuche so we can dump a monster, which, rogue monster, we are going to send Gigi to grave because we are going to Ptolemy him back to make sure to use his effect. More than likely, we'll see how the hand shapes up. We definitely need some draws. And then Lao Lao is going to special summon the Nian Nian. So from here, a couple of different things we can do. I am going to synchro with the Nian Nian and the Lulu because they are both level 6s, or level 3s, excuse me, and we are going to special summon Stardust Charge Warrior. And Stardust Charge Warrior will net us a draw, which is fantastic because we did go -1 off the Small World, and Virtual World does need cards to play, and we're going to draw a Called by the Grave, which is pretty crazy. From here, we can now take our Lao Lao and our Stardust Charge Warrior and make Tzolk'in. And because we drew a spell or trap, we are able to set that, and then we'll be able to use this Chuche as a discard outlet. So we can set the Called by, which does open us up to some hand traps, but if they have a hand trap, which by now they probably won't. And then we're going to special summon our Crystal Wing. And this is one of the definite goals of Virtual World, is to get your Tzolk'in Crystal Wing. If you do look at the build I'm running by watching the deck profile, if you haven't seen it yet, I'm not actually on Muddy Mud Dragon, so this Tzolk'in is going to stay here. One of the big things about this list compared to some lists is no Mud Dragon. So from here, we have a couple of options. Our goal is still Shen Shen at this point. We want to get to Shen Shen, or maybe even see more draws if at all possible. And we do have this Chuche on our hand, so we can activate our Shan Wu, and we can grab our... We're going to special summon the Lao Lao off of our Shan Wu. And then with these, we are going to go into Ptolemy, which was the whole goal. It is actually much harder to combo while on video than when you're playing. That is something you learn when you do videos like this. We're going to special in defense for Lightning Storm. We're going to detach the Lao Lao, and we're going to add back the Gigi. We discarded this for Shan Wu, remember that. And now Gigi's in our hand. We are going to Gigi targeting our Chuche because it's the only Virtual World target on the field. And we're going to dump probably a city. We want to keep maybe a Qinglong in our deck. We can also just dump a monster, like an extra monster. But I'm going to dump the city because it's probably the least useful right now. And then Nian Nian will trigger off of Gigi's summon. And Nian Nian, we have 2 level 3s, so you're not going into Shen Shen. But since we pitched the Chuche, we can banish the Chuche, make Nian Nian level 6. This will get banished. We have 2 banished piles, which hopefully isn't confusing. These are banished off of Small World. We're going to synchro the now level 6 Nian Nian and the level 3 Gigi and make our good old friend Shen Shen, which is definitely the main goal of Virtual Worlds. End phase, Lulu is going to activate, and we're going to, or Gigi's going to activate, we're going to add back Lulu, my apologies. And then you essentially end with this board, which is Called by Chuche, Shen Shen, Crystal Wing, Ptolemy, with a Qinglong Engrave and adding back the Lulu, which is very, very powerful. And this is starting our turn with the -1 from Small World. If you just open the name instead, you get to keep either a hand trap or draw in 2 additional cards. But this is the hand that didn't even look that great at the start. And we're not going to banish anything off Nian Nian personally because I like to have 4 banished sometimes. So yeah, that is going to be the first hand, and let's go on into the next. Alright, so going into the next hand, again, there are so many different ways to get to where I went to. You could have done things differently and still got there. Maybe not in not in that specific hand, but there are going to be hands where you can have so many different lines you can take. So if you think there was a better one than the one I took, please leave it down below. I mean, I'd love to see it so I can get better with the deck as well. I haven't actually played this at a tournament in a while, so might be a little rusty, but you know, Virtual World, its combos have a bunch of different lines, but the end goal is almost always the same. So once you understand the deck, it can be pretty easy to combo with it, but it's definitely one of the more difficult decks to play. So going on into our second hand, we have Nian Nian, Emergency Teleport, Nian Nian again. Oh yes, this is Emergency Teleport, excuse me, and Foolish Burial Goods. So this hand is weird to say the least, but it's what we're working with. So this is going to be Qinglong, which is fantastic because we definitely want to see a better name than what we have. And double Nian Nian is a little bit weird. But let's see where we go. So we're going to activate the Foolish Burial Goods. And we are going to dump the Qinglong for sure. And I'm going to go ahead and activate the Qinglong because it's going to help us get one of these Nian Nians out of our hand. At this point, since I've never actually seen this exact hand, yeah, I'm gonna say I don't exactly know if this is broken or terrible with these double teleports. I'm gonna add the Lao Lao. I actually don't want to add Lulu just yet because there's like no virtual world spell or trap, but I guess we're not gonna get there anyways without Lulu. Sheesh, this one's weird. Yeah, I think we're just gonna have to end up adding maybe Lulu so we can get to Chuche. I don't know. This one's got me stumped, guys. I'm not gonna lie. We're gonna have to rely on our draws. We're gonna send the Nyan Nyan, and then what in the world are we gonna do? We have so much Lulu and so much. Maybe we should have added Gigi. I'm kind of lost at this hand, guys. Let's go ahead and activate Emergency Teleport, because why not? And we're going to get the Lulu. Sheesh, double Nyan Nyan. We're only playing 2 Nyan Nyan in this build, which is making this even weirder. I guess let's go ahead and activate Nyan Nyan, why not? And then we're going to normal Nyan Nyan. And we are going to have to do something here because this just ain't it. We are going to activate the Lulu targeting Nyan Nyan. This Nyan Nyan, sure. We're gonna add City, and we are going to send Shan Wu because it can help us get a non-tuner out on the board through one of the Nyan Nyans. I believe this, yeah, this is the one we special summoned. So we're gonna add City, and then we're gonna activate City. And the reason we're able to add City is because, you know, you got to dump trap, add spell, or vice versa. And then City is going to set Chuche. Alright, and from here, we're just going to have to rely on some draws, and that's just how it is. So we're going to synchro the Nyan Nyan and the Nyan Nyan. That is just so strange to me, but here we are. And we're going to make our Stardust Charge Warrior, and we're going to get a draw, and hope that this draw helps us out. And it is Effect Veiler. So this draw does not exactly help us out, which is grand. I'm going to activate Shan Wu, right? And Shan Wu here is a good card, and it's going to get us somewhere. Now, if that somewhere is good, I don't know yet. We're not going to activate Shan Wu. You know why? Because that just ain't it. This hand right here, this is a hand. We're just going to synchro these two off into Shen Shen because, it guarantees we got somewhere at least. We're going to make the Shen Shen here, wherever it may be. Alright, so we have Shen Shen Chuche, so that's kind of the goal, but it's just, it just ain't it. I don't know what to say. This hand is beyond weird, and yeah. So you do have plays here, I'm just not certain they're good, and that is just where we're at. Yeah, this is gonna be this hand. This one was weird, guys. I don't know what to, like, if we didn't open Nyan Nyan, we could have used this as a way to special summon a non-tuner monster from our deck, but at this point we only have tuners. There was definitely probably a better way to play this hand, but this hand undoubtedly was very strange, and that's going to be the second hand. That's what I would do. I don't know why this Lulu's here. Like, you can actually Shan Wu, pitching Teleport, getting back Nyan Nyan to either make Break Sword for literally no reason, or to make Juju, which is actually a really good card. That's something you can do, but I want to leave that as like a go second option, so that's the reason I'm not going to make this. But yeah, that's, sheesh. Alright, going on into the third test hand. I'm going to give this a quick power shuffle because if you saw test hand 2, that hand, that's just not it. There's got to be a way playing that. I almost feel like that hand's better going second than first because I can make Break Sword and Juju and actually like use their effects and have them be good. But maybe adding Lulu's not the play there. I just wanted to make sure I got to Chuche Shen Shen because that is the true end goal. We did have Veiler, Chuche, Shen Shen, which is like follow-up, but that hand was just, it was too much for me. So yeah, going into this next hand, hoping it's a little better. We draw Ghost Spell, Pot of Desires, Nibiru. So this hand's fantastic going second for sure. Lao Lao, and City. So Lao Lao City does play here, which is great. What you have to decide is when you want to activate Desires in this hand. So this plays, right, but it's not exactly good. It combos, but again, you lose your Lao Lao effect, and it's just not what you want to see. So you can choose to City for Chuche and then activate Desires and just hope your banish isn't bad. But then you also lose your Tzolk'in set, right? So we are in the mud right now. I'm going to try to play this hand out without activating Desires first. I'm going to activate City, and we're going to set Chuche because we definitely want to make sure that is out of our deck for Pot of Desires. And then we're going to activate Lao Lao, targeting the Chuche, and we're going to send Qinglong. And what this means is we're going to have to lose a hand trap, and it's probably going to be Nibiru, because with a hand like this, I think there is a chance we actually just normal summon the Bell as a level 3 tuner, or keep it in our hand depending on what our end board's going to look like. But yeah, we've got to Qinglong here. And definitely going to add Lulu, there's just no doubt about that. So deciding what we're going to discard, we're going to discard the Nibiru. We can Ptolemy it back if we feel like we need it, but, you know, going first, I don't feel like we need Nibiru that much anyways. Then we're going to Lulu, targeting our Chuche. And then that is going to add a monster, which is going to be Lili, because Lili is good here because we're going to make Tolkien and play around Nibiru. So that's very nice. So we're going to add Lili, and we're going to dump a spell, and it's going to be Qinglong, making sure we have the follow-up for the next turn. And now Lili here is going to target, we have a couple of options. In this hand, you can actually play around Effect Veiler, Imperm, and Nibiru, depending on how you do this, but it's going to make your hand a little bit weird. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys how to play around both Nibiru and Veiler and Imperm in this hand. Now, if they have both, you're probably just going to get rocked. But if they have any of the three in the form of one copy, this hand can play through both. And we're going to do that by Lili targeting a monster. And targeting a monster means we get to dump Shan Wu. So dumping Shan Wu is going to help, and then we actually can dump another spell. I'm going to make it City because I want to keep one Qinglong in deck as of right now. If we banish it off of the Desires, so be it, but sometimes having Qinglong in deck can be very, very good. And from here, we are going to synchro these off into Tzolk'in, which is summon 4, which means Crystal Wing will be summon 5. Let's summon Tzolk'in here. And then we're going to set Desires. So this is definitely going to play around Nibiru because Crystal Wing is going to end up being summon 5. But how does it play through Effect Veiler and Imperm? So when you do this, if they Effect Veiler or Imperm targeting your Tzolk'in, you can chain your Shan Wu we sent, which this is the purpose for chaining Shan Wu, target a virtual world monster, and then chain your Chuche to pop your Tzolk'in. And that is something very, very important to remember when you need to play around certain things. This is a hand that can play through like so many different forms of interaction, and it's one of the things that make Virtual World very, very powerful is its ability to do just that and play around different things. But we're just going to play around Nibiru in this hand. As long as you guys know how to play through Veiler and Imperm, and that's chaining the Shan Wu to get 2 targets banished so your Chuche can pop your own Tzolk'in, and then Imperm and Veiler don't have a target. That is how you do it. We're going to special summon the Crystal Wing. This I do like to special in attack mode. It's usually the only thing I like to leave attack mode on my side of the field because it just has a very beneficial effect being in attack. And then from here, we have the Desires still, which we've gotten a lot of the important stuff out of our deck. So the Desires is very, very good, and we are going to activate it. And we're going to banish the top 10 cards and just hope that really good cards aren't there. 4, 6, 8, 10. We're going to check those in a second. My Desires are always terrible, so this will be fun. If we draw into GG, we're cheaters, but another Desires and a Foolish Burial Good. So this is pretty garbage, but we're going to be able to discard things for that, or for Shan Wu, which is very, very nice. What did we banish? We did banish the Qinglong, the third Desires. We banished the Lulu, a Nibiru, so it wasn't terrible. There's still GGs in deck. We're not going to be able to get to them, however, which is unfortunate. Now, you could have dumped GG off the Lili, right, if we targeted the Chuche earlier. But I didn't, just so I could play around Imperm or Veiler. So if you dump GG, you can go into Ptolemy plays instead of doing what we've done here and add the GG back and do it like that. We did not, once again, but you can go for that instead. So now I'm going to activate our trusty Shan Wu, which Qinglong is actually banished. I put it back in grave accidentally. I'm sure y'all caught that, and I'm just a dingus. And we're going to bring back the Lili. And we're going to discard Desires because it now is useless to us. And we're going to synchro these simply into our Shen Shen because, I mean, this is the boss monster, right? So we're going to end with a Chuche Pop, a Shen Shen, a Crystal Wing Negate, and a Bell in hand. But we also, like, this hand also played through Imperm and Nibiru. And this is, I believe this was the hand we just opened Lao Lao City, which doesn't look like a great start because you lose your Lao Lao effect, but it's still able to make, like, your end board, which is fantastic. And the addition of a hand trap makes it super good. And that is just, you know, the power of Virtual World. So let's go on into the next test hand. Alright, going into test hand number 4. I feel like we've shown a lot of really good things this deck can do, but we've also opened 2 really good hands and one very, very strange hand. But even that really weird hand was able to make a board. Now, you know, it wasn't the best board, but it was able to make something, and we haven't bricked yet. And Virtual World is known for being the deck that bricks, so I think we're in a good spot having not bricked. And, like, again, Small World made this deck a little bit more consistent in that manner. So we're going to open up Effect Veiler, starting our 4th hand off. Nib, I mean, we just beat like almost every combo deck in the room because Nibiru Imperm or Nibiru Valor is just like the end of every board. So this hand's amazing going second. Foolish Burial good, that's a good sign. We only played one of this, by the way, and I feel like we've drawn it so much. The super stacks. Lily, so this guarantees we have a combo and Shan Wu. Yuck, but it's going to be fine in this hand. So this hand going second, once again, is amazing, but we are testing mostly go first. Hopefully I will get to test a go second hand. It just depends what hands we draw, but like this hand going second is just hand traps, which doesn't actually show you how to play it. We're going to start with Burial Goods because obviously our hand currently isn't playable. And we're going to send the Qinglong. And then we're going to activate Qinglong. And we're going to add, tough decisions, tough decisions. It's got to be something I can play, and that's just going to have to be Lulu. This is definitely going to be one of those hands where we do things a little bit different. And we're going to pitch the Shan Wu. So where do we get from here, actually? That is a great question. Where do we get from here? Obviously, we have to normal summon the Lulu and activate the Lily, dumping a spell and a trap. What in the world is it going to be? So we're going to dump the Qinglong, and we're going to dump a Chuche because that is our only options. So we have a couple of different lines here. They're not good, but we can make Lily level 3 and try to get a draw out of this hand, or draw into something incredibly broken. We can also just synchro for Shen Shen and have Shen Shen hand traps. That doesn't sound very good. We can also, like, make Lulu level 6, make Tzolk'in and have no spell or trap, which is personally my favorite play because it's just so bad. Let's actually make Lily a level 3. This is not good, but it's gonna do something. Let's synchro these off into a Stardust Charge Warrior. Yes, that's exactly what we're doing. And we're going to draw, and we're betting everything off this draw, guys. We got to see something here. GG! We are stackers. We have actually just cheated the system. Now this hand is really good. If you don't draw GG there, you just are going to Shan Wu back the Lulu and discard whatever you drew probably, and then make Shen Shen, and then have hand trap Shen Shen. But since we drew GG, this hand's kind of insane. So we're going to Shan Wu here, and we're going to dump the Nibiru, and we're going to special back the Lulu. You know what? We don't even have to special back the Lulu. We're going to special back the... Yes, we do. We got to special back the Lulu. I'm pretty sure. So we're going to special Lulu back, and we're going to activate GG, targeting Lulu to dump a spell. And what does this actually do? I honestly, I don't know. I felt like that GG draw was broken, but maybe it just wasn't. That's kind of where I'm at right now. Yeah, maybe it just wasn't. So we're going to dump a city because, again, I like to leave a Qinglong in our graveyard. What does this hand actually do? Okay. So here, we've used almost every effect. There had to be a better way to play this hand, right? We're going to synchro. This just ain't it. We're just going to have to synchro the Charge Warrior and the Lulu. Yeah. And then end phase, GG's actually going to activate, bring back Lulu. This is not a great board. Not going to lie. But we have a Qinglong for follow-up. We have an effect Valor plus Shen Shen, which isn't great. But we have a lot of follow-up here. As long as they don't kill us, I feel like we can make good plays next turn. That hand was just... I had to mess up. I don't know if I did. But if you saw a better play for going first, definitely leave that one down below because I'm as stumped as you guys are. Alright guys, going on to the 5th hand test. That hand definitely ended weird. I mean, what was our starter? So we opened Lily, Foolish, Burial Goods as our ways to play the game, and the Shan Wu. So like, Foolish Burial Goods, send Qinglong, Qinglong effect. What can we add there instead of Lulu that will help it? I just don't think there actually is anything. I think that just had to be the play. We didn't have like an additional virtual world card to like use Lulu if we wanted to Vermilion mech her or add her back with Ptolemy, and that was the main issue I was having. I don't know, that one was really weird. But going on to the next one, I'm gonna open Lily, Emergency Teleport, so this is pretty good. Ash Blossom, Emergency Teleport, yo, this card needs to stop. And another Lily. So we've again opened up 2 of the same name plus 2 teleport, but this one's better because 2 of the same name wasn't exactly Nian Yan. So we are going to emergency teleport out our Lulu, and then we are going to activate the Lily targeting Lulu. And we are going to send Qinglong, of course, and the Shan Wu. We're not going to choose to play around you know, like send the Chuche to make Sulkin early, because this hand's really weird. If we set the teleport, I'm pretty sure we're not actually going anywhere. So we're going to do it like this. And then from here, we're going to activate the Qinglong. And we have a couple of options. Do we want to add Lulu? I don't think we want to add Lulu. I think we're going to add Lulu. That's just how it has to be. And we're going to discard the Lily because he's pretty much useless at this point. Now from here, and the reason we did that is I want to emergency teleport for Nian Yan. And we're going to make Coral Dragon here. Now we don't have any spells or traps, but that's the benefit of opening the Lulu. So with Lulu here, we can actually target Nian Yan or, you know, anything like that. But we're going to add City to our hand, and we are going to send the Chuche. Then from here, we're going to synchro our Nian Yan and our Lulu, and we're going to make our Coral Dragon. And then we're going to take our Lily and our Coral Dragon, and we're going to make Sulkin. Alright, so once we made the Sulkin, now we have the city here, which is very nice, but we're going to draw off Coral Dragon, don't forget that. Nibiru is probably going to end up being a discard here, but it's just like a very good draw in general. So now we're going to set the Sulkin, or we're going to set the city, and we're going to activate Sulkin, and we're going to special summon our Crystal Wing. Again, this is just like the whole point of like Virtual World is get to Shen Shen, Crystal Wing, Chuche. We're going to activate the city, and we're going to activate Chuche from our deck. And then city's going to go to graveyard. And now we have sort of this board, and we're going to have to activate our Shan Wu, and we're going to special probably, okay, we have options actually. No, we really don't. I thought we had GG engrave. We don't. We're going to have to special back the Lily and discard Nibiru, and then we are going to synchro for Shen Shen. So our end board again is Crystal Wing, Chuche, Shen Shen, and Ash Blossom. So that's like, you know, 1, 2, 3 forms of interruptions with a floodgate, and that's pretty good. We have a Qinglong engrave, so we're gonna be able to have some follow up. Do we have a Qinglong engrave? We do not have a Qinglong engrave. I'm just crazy. There might be a better way to play that, but I think again, if you see a better way to play it, leave that down in the comments below. Because I've definitely made boards a lot more scary than this more often, but suddenly in this video I'm not. Maybe it's because I'm not opening a bunch of Virtual World names. I mean, that's usually how you do it, is opening like 2 VW names in City or an E-Telly. But yep, that was the 5th test hand, so let's go on to the 6th and maybe the last test hand. Alright guys, so we're going into our 6th and final test hand, maybe, unless it's just terrible. If it's just terrible, we're going to get another one. But yeah, I mean, we haven't bricked, which is again a plus, but I feel like we haven't opened the absolute stones either, like multiple Virtual World names that can activate off one card. I feel like we've been drawing just average or weird, which is, you know, never like the most fun. I feel like our best hand was the first hand with the Small World grabbing Lulu, but those are always a little weird, even though you grab Lulu and have City there, because you did lose a card for the Small World, so you know, that's just how it is. So going on to the last hand, let's hope the deck decides to give us playable Qinglong, City, alright, GG, it looks playable, Ash Blossom, and Chuche. So it's playable. It is, again, one of those more average, weaker hands. We're going to activate the City. And of course, weak hand in this deck usually means Crystal Wing, Shen Shen, Chuche, which is obviously very strong, but weak compared to what Virtual World can do. Then we're going to activate the GG targeting the Chuche, and we're going to dump the ever so important Qinglong so that we can actually get a real card. Qinglong is going to activate and add the Lulu, and then we're going to discard probably Qinglong, but it might be this Chuche, because honestly, like, we might want a Chuche engrave, and we're only running 2 in this list, so that's just how it is. Lulu is going to target the Chuche, and we're going to add the Lao Lao because it is very good. And we're going to discard, or why did I say discard? We're going to dump a spell. And we're going to get Qinglong for follow-up, which is always quite nice. And I almost lost the Qinglong. I forgot I drew one, but it was at the very top. So now from here, we're going to notice we don't have Shan Wu yet, which stinks, but we just haven't been able to get there. So now I'm thinking about activating, or let's just synchro first, see what we can draw. Synchro into Stardust Charge Warrior. We're going to draw our card, and it's going to be the most broken card in the game. Actually, you know what? It's pretty good, I'm not going to lie. That is actually pretty insane. What do I want to do with this power now that I have it? So we can actually dump Lily off of the Lao and make Ptolemy because we've drawn emergency teleport, and we can do stuff with that, but I'm just not so sure that's the way we want to go. But there's nothing actually better to send here. So we're gonna activate Lao targeting the Chuche. And we can send Yan Yan or we can send Lily. Both do something different. Yan Yan also, like, being an extender is very, very good. Because we are going to have the teleport. But Lily, we can activate Lily as another effect off the Ptolemy. But Lily is an effect you don't really need that much. So I'm actually just going to dump the Yan Yan. And we're going to see where that takes us. Then I'm going to special the Gigi. And then off Gigi special summon, I'm going to special Yan Yan. So from here, I think the best bet is to just go into our Tolkien. If they Nibiru us in this hand, it's pretty tragic, I'm not going to lie. But yeah, let's make our Tolkien wherever it may be. And then we're going to set Qinglong because, I mean, we're not going to set the Telly because we want to use it. And then we're going to special summon our Crystal Wing. I feel like our board is going into disarray. Let's special the Crystal Wing over there. And then from here, what are we going to do? We can synchro for 6 being Coral Dragon, special Yan Yan from our deck, and make Shen Shen, which sounds pretty good. Not going to lie, it does sound pretty nice. We've activated Gigi this turn, which is very good. So let's do that. Let's go ahead and get our Coral Dragon. Because we don't have Shan Wu in this hand, we're not going to be able to make the Ptolemy, but I don't actually think it's that big of a deal. Specifically for how we played this hand out, because we have pretty much all the follow-up we need, and there's no like additional hand traps to sort of get there. Now, you can go Ptolemy, but I think you're going to miss out on this additional draw, and maybe even Shen Shen. It just depends on how you get there. So we're going to activate the emergency teleport, and we're going to special summon the last Yan Yan from our deck. And Yan Yan is actually banished here, don't forget to do that. Then we're going to synchro the Coral Dragon and the Yan Yan off into our faithful Shen Shen, which again, this is just full board. And we're going to get a draw off Coral Dragon, which ends up being Lily. Now that is insane, actually. That is so, so good. So yeah, we're going to activate the Lily. Yo, my draws are crazy. Lily is going to target Shen Shen, sending Shan Wu and a city, wherever it may be. Send the city. And now, since we've drawn that, we can actually activate the Shan Wu, banishing itself to special summon Lao. And we do have to discard Ash, but we'll be adding it right back. So essentially, we're just doing this so we get Ptolemy on board, because if Ptolemy lives, it's actually such an amazing card. So it's better to end Ptolemy than just like hold the Ash, even though it seems kind of redundant here. We're going to discard or detach the Lao to add the Ash Blossom back. And then end phase, GG activates, adding back the Lulu. So, you know, with this board, we end with the Chuche, with, you know, definitely enough to pop. We end with a Ptolemy, the Shen Shen, the Crystal Wing, and an Ash Blossom in hand, which Floodgate plus, like, 2 interruptions is very, very good. So, yeah, I mean, this is one of the better hands, of course. But, like, there's a way if you're running Mud Dragon to make Kaliga with this board, but if you listen to my deck profile, I explained how that really just leaves you more open to cards like Dark Ruler No More, and it wasn't what I wanted to do with this build, because this build can actually do some very different things because you aren't running the Kaliga and the Mud Dragon. But that is for the deck profile. If you do want to check that out, link down below. This hand was good, so I'm going to end the video here. I hope you guys enjoyed the Ultimate Virtual World hand test video. There were definitely some weird hands, but we didn't brick a single hand, which is very good for Virtual World, because I'm letting you guys know this deck can brick. And yeah, I had a great time. Hope you guys did too. Please leave a like down below if you did enjoy it. Don't forget to subscribe. This has been Aaron from Top Tier Gaming. Bye, YouTube.